Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. The story that I want to talk to you about is, have we got Bharatiya Janata Party wrong? You see, Bharatiya Janata Party has been seen as a party which is an electioneering juggernaut, an electioneering champion. We saw Bharatiya Janata Party as a party that is an electioneering machine. Chanakya. Have we got all of that wrong? Let's discuss that. Let's talk about it. You see, this man on your screen, Mr. Amit Shah, has been called the modern Chanakya. You see, every time, including me, a lot of us political commentators have been talking about Bharatiya Janata Party being a well-oiled electioneering machine and, very powerful, very well coordinated and so on and so forth. Have we got all of it wrong? Are we too easy when we give titles to people? Some people we call great strategist, and we saw that strategist. Some people we call Chanakya. Fatafat, we give title. One person does something good and we call him whatever title. Dang. Is that how we do things? You see, I want to discuss with you 10 reasons why I think Bharatiya Janata Party does not work on a strategy. In fact, it takes decision very emotionally and very randomly. While we thought it was very strategic and very focused. That's what my editorial is, and the first point that I want to make is Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh primarily because it's a larger state. They lost a hell of a lot of numbers, hell of a lot of seats. Uttar Pradesh, where the consecration of Ram temple happened. Uttar Pradesh, who they just won 2 years back. They won the assembly elections. Uttar Pradesh, where it is supposed to be the Gad, the stronghold of Bharatiya Janata Party. Bharatiya Janata Party just got 33 seats. What are we talking about? Why? The same way, they lost a lot of seats in Rajasthan. Why? The reason is very clear. Because somewhere down the line, maybe the top leadership or the high command or whatever you call it, primarily I am talking about Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah, didn't like Yogi Adityanath. Nahi acha laga. They didn't want him to grow. So, more than politics, it was ego that took away Uttar Pradesh from Bharatiya Janata Party. Ego, aham. Don't want to see Yogi grow. That costed him their own growth. Don't want to see Vasundhara Raje grow. That costed them own growth. Is that how a Chanakya thinks? Is this how a strategic body, a strategic party thinks? I don't like his face. I'm cutty with him. I don't want him to grow. He'll become bigger than me. Is that how a strategic party thinks? Is this how Bharatiya Janata Party always thought? This time we saw it. And that's why I say that maybe we got Bharatiya Janata Party wrong. That's my first point. My second point is RSS. One of the biggest reasons why Bharatiya Janata Party is restricted to 240 is because RSS, which your channel told you 2 months back, RSS was not very for Bharatiya Janata Party. They were soft peddling. This entire election, they were soft peddling. Now, it is becoming very evident. The fact remains that Bharatiya Janata Party didn't go to RSS, fall at their feet and say, listen, please help. Bhool chook maaf. Elections are here. We want to win. Help us. They didn't do it. Why? Possibly again, aham. Ego. Where there is ego, there is no strategy. So at that point in time, winning was not so important as much as egos were. The president of Bharatiya Janata Party for the first time in the history of Bharatiya Janata Party, Janasangh, whatever, the entire history of right-wing movement in India, went out and said that, listen, there was a time when Bharatiya Janata Party needed Rashtra Swayam Sevak Sangh. Now we don't need RSS. We are okay. We can do it on our own. A president of Bharatiya Janata Party said it on the eve of the election. Hota hai kya? Hota hai kya? RSS is still a very dominant Hindu organization. It is a dominant Hindu cultural organization. And how much ever Bharatiya Janata Party thinks it can, it actually cannot outsize Rashtra Swayam Sevak Sangh. That's a myth. You cannot outsize Rashtra Swayam Sevak Sangh. That they realized. So point number 2 is the RSS factor. Point number 3 is the Ayodhya factor. You peaked Ayodhya, you created a huge hue and cry around Ayodhya. You owned the consecration of Ram Mandir, where Lord Ram was almost smaller than the person who was consecrating the temple himself. Ram was made to look small. You know, in advertising, we say that there is a threshold, there is a certain limit to which you advertise. You don't overexpose a product. You don't underexpose a product, but you don't overexpose a product either. If you overexpose your product, if you overexpose your message, if you overexpose your concept, chances are it may boomerang against you. That's exactly what has happened. First, the message itself was wrong. Because the message was not Lord Ram in Ayodhya. The message was some other political party and leader. That was the message. Lord Ram went to the backdrop. A lot of Shankaracharyas objected to it. Yet, this was made larger than life and Ayodhya happened. Did Ayodhya actually help Bharatiya Janata Party? Or one wonders today, did Ayodhya harm Bharatiya Janata Party? Where was the strategy? Who was planning this strategy? Who said to, other than defocus from Ram and focus it on Mr. Modi, whose idea was it? And look at how it boomeranged. So where is the strategy? That's point 3. Point 4 is one-man show, like I said. One-man show. Don't vote for your local candidate. Vote for Mr. Narendra Modi. Modi guarantee. Modi 400 par. Modi Sarkar. Modi that. Modi this. Modi consecrating Ram temple. Modi, 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 Modi and Modi. This Modi Parivar got to people and definitely got to the RSS. For sure. Because even RSS wondered, where is the Sangh philosophy in all of this? Like I said, nation first, party next, individual last. Here individual first, individual second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 100, individual, one person. How could you take this kind of decision and who recommended this strategy? Wouldn't the strategist understand that this strategy could boomerang because you are basing your entire campaign on one person and that one person something goes wrong and this entire strategy could collapse. Entire strategy could collapse, and which it did. The strategy collapsed. So who was thinking? Where was the strategy? The Maharashtra debacle. And I want to talk about Maharashtra. You see, the Mahavikas Aghadi, let me tell you this today. The Mahavikas Aghadi government was not actually at its best. There were internal squabbles happening. Shiv Sena was not very happy with NCP. NCP was always plotting and scheming and all of that. That is nature of NCP. So they were doing their plotting and scheming against Congress and against Uddhav Thackeray and against everybody. And Congress was what didn't know what hit them, what came and what went. And Congress was trying to just survive and so on and so forth. So Mahavikas Aghadi was not a great government. For no rhyme or reason, or possibly for mere ego. for mere ego, to please the ego. Because Uddhav Thackeray ditched me, I want to ditch Uddhav Thackeray. Wrong timing, went and pulled down the Uddhav Thackeray party, Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray government, split Shiv Sena, split NCP, and actually in the process rejuvenated Congress, which was almost dilapidated in Maharashtra. And how they rejuvenated Congress. Tremendous sympathy for Uddhav Thackeray, phenomenal sympathy for Sharad Pawar, and Sharad Pawar possibly has one of the best hit rates that Sharad Pawar ever had since the inception of NCP. The best hit rate, all of a sudden, they rejuvenated the Mahavikas Aghadi, which otherwise would have self-destructed on its own, and possibly Bharatiya Janata Party would have had a good run this year, 2024. Most of us were expecting that. In 2021-22, I don't know what took off, and I don't know what made them pull down a government which would anyway was not doing too well, and resurrect a competition that they have created now. The current Mahavikas Aghadi, or the current Shiv Sena, NCP and Congress in Maharashtra is possibly one of the most formidable trio that I have ever seen in Maharashtra for a long time. So, literally, these Mahavikas Aghadi guys should go and thank Bharatiya Janata Party, who today is reduced to 9 in Maharashtra, one of the lowest they ever were. One of the lowest they ever were, and almost decimated from Maharashtra. So, it is not as if something went wrong, it is as if they went out and ensured that everything that could go wrong should go wrong with Bharatiya Janata Party. So वो बोलते हैं ना, पैर में कुल्हाड़ी नहीं, कुल्हाड़ी में पैर मारा. Was this strategy? Who is thinking these strategies? Who are conjuring these strategies? Who are making these strategies? Who are creating these strategies for Bharatiya Janata Party? Is this what Bharatiya Janata Party, the Chanakya Party and all is? And is this what Bharatiya Janata Party was all these years? This is the party we were calling as electioneering machine and all that. Social media failure. Another important point. My God. You see, otherwise, 24/7, for the last 10 years, they were just going on spreading message. Necessary, unnecessary, just going on spreading message. Hate message, fake news, fake message, Nehru message, Indira Gandhi message, Rahul Gandhi message, Sonia Gandhi message. Continuously, that social media was so active, but when they had to be active, they were almost dominant. Bhai, yes, a lot of people from Bharatiya Janata Party went out and said that they wanted to change the constitution so 400 par. A lot of some insignificant leaders in Bharatiya Janata Party went out and said that the Prime Minister or the leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party didn't rap them and say, shut up and what the hell are you talking? They didn't say that. They thought, theek hai, chalta hai, good. That also may help. This was the strategy. This was the strategy that was happening in Bharatiya Janata Party, number one. Number two, a lot of strategists, drawing room strategists. These strategists started saying this 400, no 400 par and all is a strategy. Because, you are diverting attention. Nothing. There was no diversion of attention, petition and all that. It was one ego. It was purely ego that some people, especially Modi and Shah of Bharatiya Janata Party, that got out to make them say 400 par. It was their ego and overconfidence. There was no element of strategy to that. To say that, 400 par, therefore competition will go after 400 par and they can, all this is, it is as we call it, it is retrofitted. All these strategies are retrofitted. A lot of guys in advertising would know this, we've got some weird creative guys who do the creative first and then the planning team would sit and retrofit a plan based on the creative rather than having a creative based on a plan. An advertising agency would know this, and that's exactly what happened here. This 400 par, and then, these drawing room strategists had to put something to sound intelligent. So, they went out and said that, 400 par and all. What are we talking about here? Now, coming back to the social media, believe me, you couldn't combat the opposition, especially Congress's campaign that Bharatiya Janata Party may end reservation in India. Bharatiya Janata Party social media team couldn't combat it. Unfortunate, but true, they couldn't combat it. The point that I'm trying to make is the otherwise everyday active social media team couldn't combat the allegations that Congress and other opposition was so strategically pumping onto Bharatiya Janata Party. At some point in time, these allegations started sticking, and sticking how? Bharatiya Janata Party was seen flummoxed, absolutely confused. Abhi kya karne ka? So what happened to those great IT cell and those great IT cell gentlemen who makes comments about everybody? When you needed, where was your IT cell and where was your IT cell team? Where was your IT cell strategic team? Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah should introspect. Baba, team kidhar tha? Where was the team then? So that's another point. Why did Mr. Modi had to promote Nyay? The manifesto of Congress was promoted by Mr. Narendra Modi more than it was promoted by the entire Gandhis and the entire Congress put together. Mr. Narendra Modi ensured that it had 80 lakhs download. He was the one who was going and talking about it every second day. Didn't the strategists, the so-called Chanakyas of Bharatiya Janata Party said, Sir, mat karo, aap unka promote kar rahe ho. You're doing a self-goal. Wrong court mein jaake khel rahe ho aap. Didn't anybody say? That's promoting Nyay. Let's talk about... Did you see the people? Did you see Nirmala Sitharaman's face just before the elections? Did you notice Gadkari just before the election? Did you notice Rajnath Singh just before the election? Did you notice these leaders just before the election? They were not motivated. To a common man, it looked as if they are hoping kaisa kab khatam hoega ye. That is how they were looking. I didn't see energy, enthusiasm, will to fight, will to go there, will to argue. I didn't see all of that. Why? Why didn't the Chanakyas, why didn't the strategists, why didn't the electioneering machine of Bharatiya Janata Party ensure that a few months before the election, these people were called motivated, completely peaked. Their motivation should have been peaked before the election and during the election. You should have seen these leaders go all over the country and talk about the achievements of Bharatiya Janata Party, which Bharatiya Janata Party never did. It is not that Bharatiya Janata Party has achieved nothing for 10 years, let me tell you. They have their set of achievements, their list of achievements, but nobody spoke about it. If you ask me today, what have they achieved? I don't know. I don't know. But I do understand that they have. But nobody spoke about it because nobody was motivated enough. And the person who was going around speaking, that was the Prime Minister. He was speaking about Mangal Sutra and 2 buffaloes, 1 buffalo going to 1 person and mutton and fish and all of that. He never spoke about his achievements. So, demotivated Bharatiya Janata Party team. And last but not the least, you see, Bharatiya Janata Party had got used to threatening people and say, Kar, breaking parties, do it otherwise. And they could do it. They could do it to a Raj Thackeray. They could do it to an NCP. They could do it to almost every party except for Uddhav Thackeray somehow, strangely. They could do it with every party. Shiv Sena was split. Why? Because they wanted, those leaders wanted to split from Uddhav Thackeray? No, because they wanted to get their ED, IT raids and cases and all away. So that is why they split. So they were so used to this that somewhere down the line, real politics and real strategy, they forgot. They forgot the sense of real strategy. They forgot the sense of real politics. They were so indulged in their arrogant power, sheer brute force. And they started mistaking brute force and arrogance as strategy, which can never be. Which can never be. Number one brand does not become number one brand purely because it has got more money to spend in marketing. A number one becomes a number one brand because it looks after good marketing, it looks after good service, it looks after good after-sale service, it looks after a fantastic customer relationship program, it has a fantastic display in the marketplace, it has got presence in the marketplace, is ensure that it gives consumers a chance to experience the brand. They do multiple things. That is why they become number one. When a brand thinks by sheer spending money, I can dominate, then you become a Bharatiya Janata Party. So this is the point I wanted to make. I believe today that Bharatiya Janata Party is no Chanakya or is no great strategic party that I used to think it is. It is no great juggernaut and all that I used to think it is. It is this entire illusion of it being a juggernaut and all was created by sheer brute force that was used. And the moment the force started dwindling, this entire illusion started dwindling. And that's what you see today. Till I see you next time. And that's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.